Good morning, class. Today we are going to learn about computer maintenance and support, and under the topic known as the motherboard. The motherboard definition: a motherboard is a main board of a computer, usually containing the circuitry for the central processing unit, the CPU, the keyboard, and the monitor, and often having slots for accepting additional circuitry. Types of motherboard: we have two majorly broadly types, and like the integrated system board and the non-integrated system board. So under the integrated system board, they are called so because the components that will otherwise be installed as expansion cards are integrated into motherboard circuitry. They were designed because of their simplicity. They have a disadvantage that when one components break, you can't replace the components. You must replace the whole motherboard. Now that is one disadvantage of integrated system board. And then for the non-integrated system board, they have each major assembly installed in computers as expansion cards. These major assemblies include the disk controllers, video display controllers, and the accessories. They can be easily identified because each expansion slot is usually occupied by the mentioned components. And then we have motherboard components, and the first one we are going to look at is keyboard and mouse. Then keyboard connectors are two types basically. All PC, which are the computers, have a keyboard port connected directly to the motherboard. Another component is the USB, which is the universal serial bus. USB is the general purpose connection for PC. You can find USB versions of many different devices, such as the mice, which is the mouse, then keyboards, scanners, cameras, and even printers. A USB connector's distinctive rectangular shape makes it easily recognized because of its rectangular shape. We are still continuing with the motherboard components. The third one is the CPU chip. The central processing unit, also called the microprocessor, performs all the calculations that takes place inside the PC. CPUs comes in variety of shapes and sizes. Another component is the RAM slots. RAM in full is the random access memory, which stores programs and data currently being used by the CPU. RAM is usually measured in units called bytes. Another one is floppy controller. The floppy controller connects to the computer via the 34-pin ribbon cable, which in turn connects the motherboard. A floppy controller is one that is used to control floppy drives. Another component of the PCI slot. PCI in full is the peripheral components interconnect. So Intel, which is a company, introduced the peripheral components interconnect bus protocol. The PCI bus is used to connect I/O devices to the main logic of the computer. Then we have the CPU slot. To install the CPU, just slide it straight down into the slot. Special notches in the slot makes it impossible to install them incorrectly. So remember, if you do not go easily, it is probably not correctly put. Be sure to plug the CPU fans power. Okay, our eighth component is the power supply plug-in. The power supply, as its name implies, provides necessary electrical power to make the PC operates. Then our last component is the CMOS battery. To provide CMOS with the power when the computer is turned off, all motherboards come with a battery. These batteries mount on the motherboard in one of three ways: the obsolete external battery, the most common onboard battery, and the inbuilt battery. Okay, we've come to the end of our lesson. Hope you've enjoyed our class. Thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you.